Right, and welcome back to the channel. So as I said in the last video, this is going to be looking at challenge 1 in the prompt builder template Superbadge unit, which is part of the Trailblazer Innovator trailhead. This is the first of the challenges, and we're going to have a look at that in this video before we move on to the next 2 challenges. So in this challenge, what we're going to be doing is we're going to use the prompt template workspace to configure a flex, a field generation and sales email prompt template types. And then we're going to adjust an existing flow to incorporate a prompt template, and then we're going to send an email using the prompt template. Those are the 3 challenges within this Superbadge, and we're going to look at the first one of those, which is the translate text with a prompt template and a record triggered flow. Okay, so like I said before, the first thing that you need to do is sign up for this special developer edition org with a special configuration, because that's going to have all of the pre-configured stuff in it that you need to complete these 3 challenges. So hopefully you had a look at the introduction video, so you know this already and you've gone away and you've set up your organization. But if you haven't, then I would suggest that you actually pause this video here and then go and sign up for that developer edition, and make sure that you're in a position where you can log into your organization and you're ready to actually start this challenge. Okay, so having gone through these additional configuration notes and these pre-work notes, we come down to the use case, and within the use case, like I say, we're going to look at the translate text with a prompt template and a record triggered flow. And there are 3 actions that we need to take here. We need to create the prompt template, we need to update the record triggered flow, which actually will kick off the template, and then we actually need to test that flow. Okay, so what I said before was that if there's anything in the use case that is highlighted in red, or there's any text where you can see a copy available, then you know that you're going to have to use those at some point during this challenge. It's also worth noting that there are a couple of names actually highlighted, so make a note of those because we will be using those later on. Okay, so assuming that we've done all of that, the first thing to do then, if you haven't already, is launch the org. Now, just to reiterate that warning, this org will only be available for a couple of days. So once you start, make sure you've got time to actually finish. Okay, so once we've launched the org, we need to go into the quick find box under setup. So this quick find box, you'll be coming back to this time and time again to find out the place where you need to be for the challenges that you're undertaking. So in the quick find box, now type Einstein or Einstein setup, and in the menu you will find something will prop up that says Einstein. So if you click on that, and you need to be, the first task is you need to be able to switch on the Einstein setup, and you do that by enabling the toggle switch. Now once you've done that, there's nothing in the use case, but I would strongly suggest that actually what you do then is refresh the browser that you're on. That just makes sure that all the Einstein stuff that you're going to need is actually enabled. So let's refresh the browser page, and then we'll go back to that quick find box. And in the quick find box there, enter prompt. And then what you're looking to do is actually get onto the prompt builder. And this is where we're going to create the new prompt template. Now, in the new template, the template type, we were told here at the top, right at the top here, it's going to be a flex template. So you can now go ahead and set up a flex template type. The API name is copied from the use case, so this here, and that will then populate the API name as well, the template name and the API name. The template description, as I said before, can be copied from here, from the actual description you've got here, and although I don't think they actually check it as part of the checks for the completion of the challenge, I think the piece of the text that I actually copied in was this bit here. Your job is to configure a feature that automatically translates the survey comments into English and updates a field called translated survey input with the AI generated translation. Right, now once we've done that, we need to set up 3 sources that were going to be used as defined in the use case. So here we've got these 3 sources: the account record, the contact record, and the fitness record. And just a quick note here, just to say that the API name is the same as you put in for the object name, and the source type is always object, and the object can be selected from a drop-down list. So remember at this stage that we are working from an org that is already set up for these exercises. So there's a lot of information that's actually been put in already. So when you get into the real world and you're starting this in your own organization, there is a lot more setup to do before you'd actually set a prompt. Okay, click next. And now we need to copy the text provided in the use case description into the template workspace, and then replace the text in the brackets. So coming down here, you can see here we can copy this into the workspace, and just here we've got brackets. Wherever you see brackets, you're going to have to replace something. So remove the actual content of the bracket and the brackets themselves, and leave the cursor in there, and then look at the resource tab to find the required fields. You're going to have to do that. I'm not going to show you how to do that, but it is fairly straightforward. And wherever you've got the brackets, replace them with the resource. So when you've completed that, the use case asks you to use the OpenAI GPT-4 Turbo large language model, LLM, which you can find in the configuration panel. So go across to the configuration panel on the right hand side of the screen, from what I remember, and select OpenAI GPT-4 Turbo. So now we get to test what we've done so far with a name, and the name is provided in the use case down here, Kirsten Strong. So we can do this on the same screen using the test input box and selecting the given details in the configuration section of the screen. So once you've entered the details, click Save and Preview button. So it's a Save and Preview button. And once you're happy with what you've completed so far, use the Activate button to activate the prompt. It won't work until you actually activate the prompt. So in those short few details, we've actually completed the first element of the first task, or the first challenge, and now what we have to do is move on to that second element, which is to update the record triggered flow. Okay, so we're going to update a record triggered flow. Right, okay. So we now need to go back to that setup screen, and in the quick box type flow. So in the quick find box type flow. And when you see the all flow screen, you need to find the one that's named in the use case. So it's translate fitness survey input, and you click on that one. Right, now once that flow is open, we need to add an action after the get contact part of the flow. So click on the plus sign and then find the action translate survey input. So now we need to use details from the use case to populate the required details and select the required actions. Now we need to create one or more actions after the translate survey input action to update records. Again, the use case provides the label, and we can see it here. Okay. Right, remember at this stage that you need to set field values for the fitness record. So you can search for translated survey input and set the value to the prompt response. Once you've done that, you can just save it as a new version and activate the flow. And believe it or not, we're now nearing the end of that first task. So go back to the setup screen, click on the box on the top left hand side. From what I remember, it's a box of dots, and go to the contacts object using that quick search box again. So get into the quick search box and type in contacts, and the use case now tells you to find the record for Letitia Bryce here. So click on Letitia Bryce's record, and under the fitness area click on new. So when you're on that record, get the required details from the use case, and paste them into the survey input field. So here we've got this phrase in Spanish. I think it's Spanish. So remember that we're trying to translate a phase from a language into English. That's what we're trying to do here. So take that, paste it into the survey input field, set interest type to running, as it says here, and save the record. Good. We have now finished challenge 1. Once you've done all of that, you then need to go back to Trailhead and click on the checkbox to make sure that you've completed everything okay. So hopefully that's the end of challenge 1. I'll see you again for challenge 2.